A state of calamity has been declared in 6 regions that were ravaged by Typhoon Odette. A price freeze on basic goods will immediately take effect in these areas. Long lines are starting to form over at the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX, as passengers brave the holiday rush to get to their provinces in time for Christmas. The Health Department has approved a shorter interval period before administering booster shots. The DOH says this is part of precautionary measures against the Omicron COVID variant. And PAGASA says the low-pressure area outside the Philippine area of responsibility now has a higher chance of developing into a tropical depression. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. With only 3 days left before Christmas, bus terminals in Metro Manila are now getting busier. For the latest, we have Gerard de la Peña joining us over the phone from Parañaque City. Gerard, how is the crowd situation over there at the PITX?
Sean, it's starting to get jam-packed here at the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX. Passengers are eager to go home to their provinces in time for Christmas. Passengers have been forming a beeline at the ticket counters to secure seats for provincial destinations like Bicol. PITX offers trips to various parts of the region, going as far as Matnog, Sorsogon, and Virac, Catanduanes. There are also trips to Batangas and Quezon. Meanwhile, buses bound for the provinces of Cavite and Laguna from Metro Manila and vice versa are available daily. With only a few days left before Christmas, PITX passenger volume has reached 105,000 daily since Monday. That's higher compared to the pre-pandemic daily foot traffic at 75,000. The terminal management assures the public that there are enough buses. But with the holiday rush, many passengers can't help but complain about how difficult it is to secure seats. That's why the PITX management is urging travelers to call the terminal first to make sure that there are available slots. They reminded everyone that chance passengers will only be accommodated if there are canceled bookings. But the management said booking cancellations at this point are unlikely. The PITX management says this situation at the terminal will most likely continue until Friday. Sean?
Thank you for those updates and stay safe. Gerard de la Peña on the phone from Parañaque City. Thanks, Gerard. In other news, 6 regions in the country are now under a state of calamity after being battered by Typhoon Odette. Maricel Halili with the report.
President Duterte has declared state of calamity in 6 regions in the country days after Typhoon Odette wreaked havoc in Visayas and Mindanao. These regions are Mimaropa, Western Visayas, Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Caraga.
The declaration of the state of calamity will hasten the rescue and relief and rehabilitation efforts of the government and the private sector.
But why did it take some time before the president made the declaration?
For the declaration of the state of calamity, we have to have a full assessment of the extent of damage done by the typhoon. But mindful of that, alam naman po namin, and we reminded this during the situation briefing, that local government units affected by Typhoon Odette can immediately declare a state of calamity.
Upon the declaration of state of calamity, price freeze among basic commodities will automatically be in effect. There have been reports of overpriced drinking water and petroleum products being sold in typhoon-hit areas like Bohol due to shortage of supplies.
Well, the challenge now is for the inspectors to be able really to document yung stations, specific stations na gumagawa ng ganyang quote-unquote overpricing.
But even without the declaration of state of calamity, sellers taking advantage of a disaster can still be held liable under the Consumer Act.
Ang unconscionable po, sir, yung may kasama ng pang-aabuso or taking advantage of the buyer. Parang anong term doon, sir? Yung hindi na, wala nang pagpipilian yung consumer. Kaya napipilitan siyang bilhin.
So
yung mga
meaning,
goods.
Aside from overpricing, looting in these areas has also become an issue. Malacanang assures the public that police officers in nearby provinces will help in maintaining order in typhoon-hit places.
Pakiusap sa ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ngayon ng Pasko, na please let's not take advantage of our fellow Filipinos who are suffering right now. Ang panawagan po natin sa ating mga kababayan ay tulungan ang isa't isa. No, wag nating pagsamantalahin ang ating mga kababayan, lalong-lalo po yung mga nangangailangan.
For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
With power and communication lines still down, some residents of the Nagat Islands have gone old school, writing letters to reach out to their loved ones. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro with their story.
My dearest sister, please know that our family are all fine and we are happy to be alive after Odette. Our houses are roofless but we are not hopeless. This was the letter of Aini Antonio Jimeno, a survivor of Typhoon Odette in Dinagat Island, to her sister Janet Antonio Viesca of Davao City. 5 days since Odette carved the wide swath of destruction, thousands of families still have no idea of the fate of their relatives and friends in southern Visayas and eastern Mindanao. With power and communications down, people are finding creative ways to tell relatives and friends that they are okay. Janet saw her sister's letter posted on the Facebook page of Dinagat Governor Kaka Bag-ao.
Naiyak ako talaga. I really cried. Kasi unang-una, yung handwritten kasi eh. So makikita mo na she was able to write that note, so she's okay.
With her province cut off from the rest of the country, Bag-ao started collecting letters from the Nagat residents to post in her FB page whenever she gets a signal when traveling to other provinces. For this, they coined the term letters from the Nagat.
After I got a message from my sister, so partially relieved. Pero not, until I get to see them in flesh, doon po ako fully relieved.
On the other hand, Rina Donque still hasn't heard from her cousin, Mary Jane Durigfat, who was visiting Dinagat Island when the storm hit.
Dahil po siguro sa walang kuryente, hindi sila makapag-charge, kaya hindi sila nakapag-contact sa amin. Ganun po yung nasa isip.
To help look for her, Durigfat's employer, Jem Fernando, turned to social media for crowdsourcing on Facebook with the hashtag #FindYayaJane.
Kasi po nung baby pa lang sila, siya na po yung nag-aalaga.
Pag kasi wala ka doon, hindi mo alam yung nangyayari. Lahat ng senaryo may iisip mo eh. I've been there. There is hope. Manalangin tayo. Let us pray to God na ma-protect sila, na ma-protect yung mga victims.
Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro, We Are One News.
Former Senator Bongbong Marcos tops the latest Pulse Asia survey on preferred presidential bets for the 2022 elections. More than half the respondents in the survey said that they would vote for Marcos Jr. In second place is Vice President Leni Robredo, followed by Manila Mayor Isko Moreno and Senator Manny Pacquiao. Marcos's running mate Sara Duterte also topped the survey on vice presidential bets. Tito Soto placed second, followed by Kiko Pangilinan, Willie Ong, and Lito Atienza. In the senatorial race, Alan Peter Cayetano ranked first in the survey, followed by Raffy Tulfo, Loren Legarda, and Cheese Escudero. Also included in the top 6 are Mark Villar and Mig Zubiri. Rounding out the top 12 are Jojo Binay, Joel Villanueva, Win Gatchalian, President Duterte, Robin Padilla, and Risa Ontiveros. The camp of presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos has shown proof that the former senator paid penalties related to his tax case. The certification from the Bureau of Internal Revenue District Office in San Juan shows that Marcos paid more than 67,000 pesos in December of 2001. This is still in relation to a Court of Appeals order back in 1997 for Marcos Jr. to pay the BIR back taxes with penalties. Because of this, his spokesman, Vic Rodriguez, said there's no reason to prevent Marcos Jr. from running in the 2022 elections. Petitioners are calling for his disqualification, using this tax case as legal basis. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Health Department has approved a shorter interval period before administering booster shots. The DOH says those who receive their 2-dose vaccines may get boosters after 3 months, while those who got the single-dose Janssen vaccine can get their boosters after 2 months. According to the Health Department, the threat of the Omicron variant prompted the decision to shorten the interval period between vaccine doses and boosters. The Agriculture Department has reported 2.2 billion pesos in damage and losses from Typhoon Odette. The DA said that about 34,000 farmers and fishermen from various regions in the Visayas and Mindanao were affected by the typhoon. And PAGASA says that the low-pressure area they are watching now has a 60 to 70% chance of developing into a tropical depression. The LPA is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility by Sunday at the earliest. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.